without further ado, this is Mist 19. It's my first Mist 19 in a while actually, and I believe I timed this one. And let's go ahead and get it started. Um, I'll do as much commentary as I can as we go. I will try not to slow down the video, and we'll see if we can take any lessons from it. Mostly I'll focus on what I can do better. Here we are doing a skip. I'll be pulling this 5 pack right here. Now ideally I'd pull this into there, but they wanted to do a lock skip. With a lock skip, you'll put a little gate right there and just skip a lot of things. And you'll see me right after this pull going in there. But unfortunately, they decide to pull this group here. The reason you'd like to ideally get to the boss as quickly as possible, in my opinion, all this is my opinion, is just to get the lust on timer. Now, I've never actually done it this quick, so I don't know how it lines up. But I know you can get at least 3 lusts. First boss, second, and third. We don't get a lust on the second boss. So as you can see, someone decided to pull for me. This is not excellent. You don't want to pull for a tank, especially when you're just pushing a key. These guys are pretty good. They're 2.4, 2.5k, but there is just some teamwork things that are just not going well. Even from the start, the hunter said he was not happy that he had the lust, and as we can see, the warlock is not dropping so well. Well, he hasn't had a chance to drop it yet, but you will see he will not be dropping it this run. Okay, so we're just doing this pack. This pack, I don't fully understand it, so I might be making some mistakes here. I'm not keeping my shield block up all the time because I was focusing on just basically and then getting hit by those things. But again, you're just looking at your health here, and as long as your healer is doing fine, you can take some risks when you want to interrupt something. Now here, I have some trinkets. I am still getting used to my new hotkeys. So for example, my this is my middle mouse, and I did not use it this so far, which is unfortunate. It's a big DPS boost. So this is the lock skip. This pull is very similar to the previous one, 2 casters and 2 of these melee guys. I don't fully, again, understand how they work. I just know that in Fortified they do a lot of damage. So a lot of interrupts will need to be going off on these casters, and ideally you want to burn one down as quickly as possible. Now again, I'm getting good heals here. I do have a lot of my cooldowns coming back up, and I did use that trinket actually. So I'm just trying to basically maintain my shield block as best as possible. It's not showing up, but it is ticking. You can see that on the top right. I don't know why sometimes it just doesn't tick. Um, and here again, just trying to kite them out of the things. Ideally, you want to pull them right into this, in my opinion. Again, all in my opinion. But this is a pug, so we're doing it a little slow. A little slow. Here we overlap on all our interrupts. When this happens, this is actually kind of important. When that happens, everybody has to basically pop their personal CDs and everything. And you can see the warrior doesn't do that. I think he could have not reflected it, but mitigated it with the spell reflection, which I don't think mine was up. Yes, it was. So that was a mistake on my part, but I had, I think, something else going. I think I popped my trinket. No, I did not. No, I just basically. Oh, shield. No, I really didn't use anything. Okay, so usually to prevent that, what we want to do is just say in and then we're just picking up some buffs. Say in chat, first, and that will avoid a lot of those problems. All right, so here what I want to do is pull this guy into the next group. I realized that a little too late, and then I also saw the healer's mana, so I decided to pull. No, actually, I do end up pulling these guys. This is my new pull. I haven't done this before. It worked out okay. What the logic behind this is pulling these two into the frozen guy, Horus, so that uh, the the role-playing event for the boss starts, right? We're just trying to save time, and um, it unfortunately didn't end while they're all picking up the buff from the boss, which is not very useful. We're only killing him for the 50% damage. He gives a 50% reduction in movement on the last boss if you don't kill him. So we might be escaping him on non-tyrannical weeks if we can possibly do it. There's just not enough room to kite if we do it here. And so anyways, we'll be pulling these into him. Ideally, would love to do it much quicker. But again, if everything is going okay in a pug run, you have to keep in mind, this is a pug run. We don't know each other. Nobody's talking except the hunter that one time. And it's just, yeah, and it's a disc priest, so usually we don't have very good luck with them. Now this we have very good luck with this one. He's not pushing barrier on top of me, which scares me. So here we can see we started the event now, and normally I don't even loot this guy, but I figured everyone else will be looting him. And unfortunately, what they did is there's a third torment that you can pull with a pet. See, I'm already lining up to pull the boss. But then I noticed, oh yeah, I noticed the healer's mana, so I did not want to do that. It's tyrannical. But then I noticed what happened was everybody was going towards pulling the next one, and I said to them that it's a huge waste of time because it is. It takes over a good minute unless you do it like right now. Even then, you still have to wait, and the healer won't be able to drink. So unless you do it mid-fight, like two at the same time, 100% I think skipping is. I will always skip it now. And you can see like if we look at the time, right, right here, 24:12. Um, and here I pick up the interrupt because we've been doing a lot of interrupts. It just eight seconds of increased damage, and I tell them here I want to pull boss. They're arguing. No, I said no, boss, and we can see one. It was 24 something, and it's just ticking away, ticking away, ticking away. All right, so we lost a good 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds when we could have pulled him into the next two pack instead. So not great. And then of course the most important thing here, the reason I don't like doing this is because of lust, right? You need to put lust on timer as soon as you can, especially in the pug. If you don't put it on timer before 20 minutes, you won't get three lusts. And this is what's going to happen with us. We will get it on timer, but we will miss the second lust. The hunter will miss it, and I won't even see it. So we'll just go ahead and speed this up. This boss is fairly straightforward. Not the easiest thing in the world. Um, Not the hardest. And for this guy, by the way, you just keep your shield block up if you're a warrior. That's what I noticed. It used to kind of wreck me a little bit because there is a reduction in healing, but just keep that shield block up. All right, so here we're gonna have two phases. You're almost always going to have two phases. Not really, actually. I think in the 18 Tyrannical I had one phase, but it really you need good DPS for it. And they all have to have their CDs and everything. So the way this boss works, in case anyone is not familiar, we're just gonna speed this up real quick, is you got to bring the tree down to 20%, and then yeah, you can see here my positioning is terrible. I don't remember exactly why. I think, oh yeah, I was trying to keep them together too much to overcompensate. So here we bring them down to I think 40%. And unfortunately, someone keeps trying to push him over, which is not great in the pug. You can see this guy's going down. This is because it's sped up, right? Didn't mean to pause it. So if we go to one normal speed, you can see this guy is not going down quick. He started going down, right? But this guy went from 42 or 43 to 39. So here we finally pull him out, and I noticed they switched. So I'm switching too, of course. Very important. But again, just keeping everything stacked and yeah, just killing it. But again, look at the timer, right? For Lust, we have less than 9 minutes to get to the next, less than 8 minutes to get to the next boss, and we actually get a very long maze, which allows us to get that 8 minutes. If we got a short maze, we would never have the Lust up, and you definitely don't want to use Lust on trash. Um, and the warrior somehow died. The warlock took a long time. This is 2x speed, right? He took a long time to resurrect him. So we can see there is some chinks in the armor, but overall, we're doing so well that when this happens in the pug, when you're doing very well in the pug, just keep doing it, right? Try not to be too toxic. That's why I try not to give too many directions. People take them the wrong way. And then yeah, just keep going. So here we improved our positioning a little bit. finish that up, and I can see we could have pulled that guy right into here. Now here, the maze is pretty straightforward. You follow the first one, you follow where that guy goes. Now here's a small pro tip. Groups will hate you for it. I don't personally do it, but if you don't look at where that thing is going, all you got to do is just pick one because you respawn right here. So you just pick one and just keep it. Instead of like going to each one, is what I'm saying. Just go and respawn, go another again. So it's you might lose 5 seconds at the beginning, but that's okay. Better than going in a circle trying to figure it out. But then of course we all have these add-ons. As you'll see, they'll start working in a minute. And I already forgot. You can see. I think you'll see me do it here. I thought he went right or no. Okay, you don't see me do it here. So here we you can pull, I believe, on mist on higher levels through walls and do fancy stuff like that. But because there are things that heal here, these tenders, uh, we don't want to do that too much. We're just trying to basically stack our stuns and things like that. So I can see that stuns going out, fear going out. We're gonna mess up the positioning a little bit right here because one goes one way for some reason. I think got feared or something, and so one is gonna go through the puddle. It's okay. It's not great on fortified, but it's not great on it's not horrible on this one. In fact, you can probably leave things in puddles. So here I realize this guy kind of knows what he's doing in terms of where to go. Wait for WS before PL. Okay. Anyway, not sure what he meant there, but one thing that's important to keep in mind is tanks don't have a way to read chat in the middle of a pull, as you can see. I'm not even as I'm commentating, I'm like hands are moving. Reading in chat is not my priority. So as you can see, so as long as someone picks all these, oh, I'm pointing in the right, because you can see. As long as someone picks all these, it'll tell me which one. The only problem is figuring out which one that is. So there are. I'll go over some of these tips as I do more guides. This is a more of a higher level key. That's why I'm not going over every tiny detail. It just can't really be done. Let's just focus on how we're doing this one, right? So again, we're just doing these tiny pulls, not too bad. The key is to interrupt the healers. That's why stacking two packs and keys like bowstring last week, fortified, is a little bad if you don't have enough interrupts. What happens with them if they get the heal off is they leave a hot HOT heal over time and on the ground. You can dispel it. I don't know with what. I use torrent, but I can only use it once every 2 minutes. So, and this is the second add-on. I will immediately forget. By the way, I think I get to buy this. I will immediately forget where it's pointing forward, but again, that's not where my mind is at the moment. I'm still kind of. It's late, I believe, when I ran this. It was late Monday, and I honestly did not expect us to time it simply because of the last timing. Like I was like, okay, this is taking too long. I mean, we have 15 minutes left, right? With two tyrannical bosses. It's not a lot of time with 50% trash. If this was fortified, I would not. So the frog is straightforward, as you can see. Just avoid the tongue in front of it. It's probably the easiest one of all of them. The dragon is a little annoying to heal, I think. In terms of tanking this, I don't know if there's anything more that you can do. Well, don't get hit by the little winds. That's storming, by the way. And yeah, so now we already forgot where it was. He did not, and we're just following him. So we start the pulls with our Ravager. Well, um, we'll be switching to probably different build for a little bit later. Probably maybe as we get better gear. I have a feeling that 10% haste is the way to go. Here you can see we almost missed some casts. I think there will be one group where we do. And again, just I'm still learning how to optimize my shield block uptime. Sometimes you can see here, it's just not happening for me. And I used to really um, not, I used to not really appreciate the importance of little details. So here we're using a legendary reprisal legendary, which gives me a rage, a free revenge, and a 4 second shield block each time I intervene or each time I charge. So ideally, and I think I do it here. I have it's a mouse over. So I intervene. You can intervene anyone, doesn't matter the range, but for charge when you 8 yards. So you just want to use that all the time. Now it doesn't seem like a lot, but if it doesn't cost you much in terms of expense, the extra rage is ignore pain. You get a free revenge right there. We just used it. No, yeah, we used it right there. And over time, it does add up. So I did notice my DPS increase a little bit, from let's say 4.4k overall to 4.8. So it's not bad. And we can see we have 2 minutes left, which is about 1 minute and a half, I think, on last timer. Excuse me. And we'll just exit out of that. Apologize. And this is also straightforward. There are a couple of interesting mechanics you can do in higher keys or even in lower ones, probably non-tyrannical. She will at 70.5, 40.5, and 10.5%, she will do a guessing game where she splits. You can actually prevent this if you push her, if she wait until she starts casting dodgeball. This would actually happen on this key. She starts casting dodgeball right now, right? If we just waited until, or if we hold DPS right here, wait for another dodgeball at 70.5 and get it to, and get 4% of the health off, so right here, if we had just bursted it down with the lust, it wasn't up to 67%, she would not have cast guessing game. I've had that happen maybe once or twice, just by accident. But she has to be casting this dodgeball. So and that's, of course, a very good thing to have happen. Missing that, you will miss this whole game phase, which is perfect. So here, of course, we 100% should be lusting as soon as it's up. I don't realize it, and unfortunately, neither does the hunter. I'm guessing he's doesn't have the correct pet out because he was talking about how he didn't like to lust at the start. So you can see if we lust here, we'll have exactly 1 minute and a half, more like 30 seconds, I guess, before when the next lust is up. And you will see it will be very close. Okay, let's talk about this boss real quick if you haven't been paying attention. What she does is this spell is only cast on the tank. If you don't interrupt it, you die. Now in lower keys, you don't, but trust me, you'll die. What can happen often is she will spawn. She also spawns a fox. You'll see it run. You've seen it run around. If you touch the fox, you will get frozen for quite a long time. And die. You basically will die. On this key, you will die. So if you touch this fox, and I think one of the warrior does touch it. I know someone touches it and dies. Yep, there it goes. So you touch it, you die, or he just died from. He had something on. He was frozen, he was. That was the graphic. He touched it, he was frozen, and I guess it doesn't die. I'm not sure. But if I get hit by it, what happens is, as a tank, you will get frozen, and she casts the pen, the thing, the glare, and you will get hit by that, and you will die. So we don't want that to happen. And you can see, and you see that fox away. You could kill it with range. Doesn't really need it. It's not really needed. Just have to be careful. That's why I'm moving a lot. When she spawns it in the middle, like freeze tag, you just have to pay attention where it is. So, okay, so that's the boss. We're gonna go ahead and skip through the rest of this. Um, and again, yeah, the no lust, I noticed it right about now, and I'm like, oh no. This is like if you are doing mist, the reason the timer is so tight is because you have to really overpull quite a bit at the end in order to make up for the low pulls in the maze. And so look, that where it's dead again. And you might be thinking that's okay, but that's 3 deaths, which is 15 seconds. It does add up, right? If he dies five, it's five deaths is 6 deaths is half a minute. That's a lot. So here they tell me what to pull. Really not. I don't like when people do that. Like again, I pull when I feel like a tank will pull within his limit, right? Not within the limit of the group. It's kind of both within the limit of what you can do within that group, right? So you're telling the tank, and it happens a couple more times when the hunter tells me to do a big pull. This monster, one of these bugs heals. So if you overpull here and let's say somebody gets stunned and this and then you don't have an interrupt, suddenly everything is healed to full. or you're standing on top of a puddle and stunned. It could be so many things. So I tried to go quickly here. We get a very good thing with the wasps. On this pull here, what often happens is you pull this big group and you're kind of fighting it over here. That's why I'm pulling it back here just by habit. You're fighting it over here and they go down quick. So somebody just decides to pull the next group and then suddenly two wasps come and you cannot handle that normally on a pug. The wasps, you can see they're doing some kind of stacking poison, and I don't know if that can be mass dispelled or not, but it definitely is not being taken care of here. Got fully. But here I did this pull because I did have my CDs and especially Ravager for the kiting. So kiting is not easy for a warrior in terms of retaining rage when you kite, threat when you kite. But with a Ravager, it gives you a little bit more freedom. So here we are dropping a bit low. I thought I had some CDs that I did not. Ideally, what we'll be doing, of course, is kiting a lot. Um, don't quite remember why I did. Oh yeah, I popped my trinket. That was the absorb shield right here. You can see it tick down right there. So, um, and of course, it would be excellent if I had everybody else's CDs. So here, I'm not even looking at the time. I'm not looking at the percentage. I'm just trying to do smooth pulls, and they're going pretty smooth. Like I said, I thought I made more mistakes in this run, and I know I did, but I think they were towards the beginning. This went quite okay here. All my CDs just came up, and you can see me popping them like Shield Wall, Ravager should be used right now. Of course, not. Yeah, I'm not using. Here's one of the reasons we're not using our shield block as often when we're kiting is because when we are not kiting, we need it, right? And if you're just kind of outside of their range, you're not really getting hit, and you're not really getting any threat. You can see right there. I mean, you're not getting any hits, and you're not getting any rage. So without rage, if you just pop a shield block and you run away, that's 30 rage gone, right? So not good. And here they actually wanted to pull the next trash pack. I didn't even notice we had only had needed one more mob, but luckily nobody died here. So yeah, the healer just needed mana, and that's why we're pausing. And right around this time, I noticed that we don't have a gate and we don't have a healthstone, which really scares me a little bit. You will actually see, I believe, a full infestation go off, consumption go off. I'm not too familiar with those boss on hierarchies. I just kind of avoid everything. But it's pretty straightforward. He'll do this mad link. It didn't show on me. Basically, you run away from each other. He'll do stuff on the ground. All this stuff hurts, by the way. It can really add up. But luckily, we're starting off pretty smoothly. He'll pick a target. Well, these guys will pick a target. I think they have a aggro table, but I think it's not very good. And here the warrior's getting low. And here I'm yelling, just I don't know where he went because you can see he's not showing up right here. So this is where I typed interrupt, and you can see it all went off. We had a hunter and a warrior who had their interrupts up. So I'm not sure what happened there, but that's what happened. And the rest of the boss fight is pretty straightforward. So we'll just go ahead and go through here. Um, Nothing special happens aside from what just happened. Just rinse and repeat. We're trying to, again, trying to keep our shield block up, trying to not stay in puddles. And yeah, and when you want to try to get these guys off your healer as best as you can. Again, it's very surprising to me that a barrier has never been used this run. I'm not sure if there's a build where it doesn't include a barrier, but that's like not having a shield wall. I'm not sure. And anyway, but it's going okay. So we're just getting. Usually, what happens on these bosses is tyrannical ones is you'll have a lot of CDs at the start, and there will be a lull in the middle, especially in a pug run, and then that's usually you'll kind of drop. If you can make it past that stage, your CDs will all come back up. You can see I actually died here. That was 100% my fault, but you know, he was 30% and I knew I had shield wall right here. The reason I wasn't using my shield wall and everything is because I wanted to use it for this pull, forgetting that this pull is really not that bad in terms of we only needed 3%. All right, so that completes the run here. You can see the add-on here tells me how much percent I need. Highly recommend getting this ad. Usually this key does take a longer time after the boss. Usually you'll have to kill 3 or 4 more pulls up there, but here we got a little bit lucky and we got our 6 IO points. All right, so this was Let's Pug with me, Prod Mythic. Hopefully that was somewhat useful, and thanks for watching. Cheers.